Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about trust issues and doing your deep breathing.
And very, 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 very poor political skills.
That you inherited from your dad.
Your daddy.
Joining us today to discuss episode 8 of Bachelor in Paradise season 10 is Emmy Award-winning Last Week Tonight writer Ali Barthwell, longtime friend of the pod. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, so glad to be back.
Oh my
Back in the
God.
womb, back on the island. I love it.
I feel
good.
good. I feel like you were meant to be here for this episode to do, some cutting political analysis. That's what we got into recapping Bachelor in Paradise for.
It really is hitting a lot of check boxes for me. Overly
it's
confident
all of our
men,
interests.
terrible campaign strategies. I feel like we can get into it.
Oh, I'm so excited. Before we do, just a little housekeeping. A reminder to everyone that we are covering Love is Blind UK Season 2, speaking of terrible men, over on Rich Text. And you can find all of our absolute hottest takes about Patrick's spleen over at claireandemma.substack.com. A lot to dig in there.
So let's dive in to this episode. This season has picked up to a degree I never anticipated.
I'm loving it.
This was prime. So after a very sunglasses forward intro sequence, we are off. It's day 15 of Paradise. Kathy and Keith are watching. They're evaluating all the couples. They think Jess and Spencer are the top couple. Alex and Andrew, also legit. Shawn and Alicia will try to make it work outside of Paradise.
Good
Dale
for
and
them.
Kat. Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, they can do that over there.
They're
That's
there.
great.
Yeah.
A little foreshadowing there, maybe. They rank Dale and Kat over Bailey and Jeremy, which seems fair considering what just happened. And they're like, Jonathan and Leia aren't really a couple. And Kathy says, well, neither are we. Everyone knows. It's like everyone is always looking at them and being like, those two couples, they're not couples. Why are they still here? And yet they can't get rid of them.
And I love if we only have, one or two Goldens left, that one is Kathy.
Oh, thank God.
This feels cosmically correct that Kathy is still hanging on.
She is incredible television. Like, this woman delivers. She's firing on all cylinders. I could just watch hours of her random commentary.
Yeah. And I think, the fact that they are fun to watch also translate to them, Keith and Kathy, being more fun for everyone else to have around, which is why they're still here. They keep getting rid of Goldens, who are a couple.
But everyone's like, oh, but I like my pseudo-drunk mom, Kathy.
Yeah. And sometimes you really just need a drunk aunt who's hanging around that's like, dump him. You'll be fine.
Strategy brain is clearly starting to kick in for everyone there. Leia is telling Jonathan that they have to get rid of the strongest couples. Brian is like, my head is on the chopping block. We really have to win the challenge this week. And then Hannah Brown arrives in her cropped resort top and gets Jesse Palmer on the walkie-talkie. He's trying to direct them due west. They don't have compasses. After some static, he's like,
they don't know what due
them.
west means.
Certainly
they don't,
not.
Barely know what that means.
We learned that these people, even when they have a compass, they're like, what are the marks on this? I don't understand. So this is all clearly just a skit. Like, he's like, I'll just come to you. He arrives. He's like, a little communication breakdown. Get it? It's a communication challenge.
We do get it, Jesse. Thank you so much.
So the challenge is called Treasure Hunk.
Also, I love that I am such an idiot. I was like, where are they hiding? And obviously, Emma, they're in treasure chests. I was previewing this, and we did not pick up on the fact that these crawl spaces were treasure chests.
This definitely feels like they put all their brain energy into coming up with the name and then no other part of this challenge.
They definitely didn't put it into comparison shopping for walkie-talkies.
No, those walkie-talkies were paid actors. This was not a good idea.
Oh my God.
I also think that the name Treasure Hunk keeps bothering me because it is really funny, but I'm like, the hunk is inside the chest. What do you mean treasure hunk? Are they a hunk of treasure? They're a hunk in a chest.
And the women aren't hunks. A woman is not traditionally referred to as a hunk.
Look,
so
they're not worried. They're not worried about these details. They're just like, that
They came up with that
good.
name, and they took the rest of the afternoon off.
Yeah, what about a treasure chest base challenge called Treasure Hunk? I love it. Let's do it. So one of them is going to go hunting for a precious treasure, their partner. The other will be buried alive. Buried alive. They'll be in a chest.
Yeah.
And they will be the ones giving directions and providing clues via walkie-talkie. And to be clear, these are kind of like those outdoor storage chests that you get at IKEA. They're very open slats, okay?
Yeah,
Everyone
there's
for-
can-
airflow.
Off-season cushion, outdoor cushion storage is what we're looking at.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
100%.
Yes.
That's it.
So they get walkie-talkies so that the one in the chest can give the directions and clues to the person searching. There are 30 minutes to complete a set of puzzles that will give you keys to like the 5 padlocks on the hunk chest. And then they have to like run across the beach together.
Too many things. Too many keys, too many puzzles. It's like that Mad Men where he's like, every time you say and then, they're just
Yeah.
going to change the channel.
Yeah.
Like, this is too many. They
Well, this-
needed some real puzzle geniuses on this one.
I am used to this from non-Bachelor dating shows like Netflix shows. They always introduce a challenge and I'm like, what? I got confused after the first line of instructions. I know these people are struggling. So the couples immediately start trying to prove to each other that they deserve not to be in the chest. Although I think Leia wants to be in the chest because Jonathan is like, I'm good at giving directions. And she's like, but I'm really bad at following directions. She does lose this fight, though. She ends up being the hunter. Keith and Kathy discuss who will be in Kathy's will if she goes in. She's like, you get nothing. Which,
Love it.
you know, if
So
he leaves her
good.
to die in the chest, I think that's fair.
I agree.
The women have the power this week, which again, as we all know, is meaningless. It's just couples at this point.
It's
So
just
the-
couples, but they cannot
They
step
can't
out
give
of the
it up.
gender binary. They love it too much.
Finally, like Jesse has conceded to acknowledging that it's basically couples. He's like the winning woman and presumably her partner will be
Yeah,
safe.
they have realized no one is switching up in this game.
Right,
There's
right.
no incentive to do
And
so.
there's no, again,
Yeah.
I'm coming in a little late, but like, there's no new people. Like, what
Right.
is, if you're not in a couple, like, what is
No,
the point?
right.
Like, this doesn't, no one's going to switch around. We saw with the secret rendezvous, like, nobody did that. So why?
No, they keep trying. They were like, this is going to do something.
Yeah.
And then
No.
halfway through, they realized, oh, it's just, these are the couples.
It's already
Yeah.
enough of a challenge for shows that don't have a big cash prize to convince them to switch up because people know that it hurts their brand to be
Right.
seen as like a fuckboy or a fuck girl by switching around too much, and then they don't benefit coming off the show. So people like on Perfect Match, it was almost impossible to dislodge a couple. So they haven't figured out a way here. The winning woman and her partner will be safe. Then they will all vote on 2 women couples
Mhm.
to send home. So 2 couples, 4 people are going home this week. High stakes. Wells arrives blindfolded with a shovel, and he blindfolds the chest hunks. He seems to really enjoy kidnapping, but he does fuck up his most important task, preventing Kathy from hitting her head on the roof of the
Oh my
SUV.
God. That I wrote as a note, like I would just watch her and the rest of the Goldens on a beach. Like, what are we doing? Just
I
let them run
know.
around.
It's like, you cannot have Kathy concussed.
Right.
No.
Why are you letting Kathy get concussed? Like, this is your most important job, Wells. Hannah gets a precious in the moment to say that she's worried for the men that are the hunters. She says, men just can't find a dang thing. The booty could be right in front of them. And they're like, where's
Where's
the
the
booty?
booty?
Where's the booty?
I know she felt good because that is a pirate, but also sexual reference.
Yeah.
Like she really,
Yeah.
they really
She's
wrote
like,
her a
this
good one on
joke,
that one.
this
Yeah.
joke's going in.
I will say when they give her an in the moment, she's either saying something like, it seems like people are getting along, or she's going so hard on a bit. She thinks the women will just be stuck in a hot box, and they also will be stuck in a hot box because production did not, again, get the good walkie-talkies.
No,
Right.
this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
This is one where I was like, they're so traitors pilled, where they were like, people love people watching being trapped in a bunker underground, but they're not like puzzle designers because like all of these puzzles are just they're so reliant on the walkie-talkie, and they should
I
have
know.
tested it because when you have your first 2 heats where they don't even get to the 5th puzzle.
It's not good.
Like you didn't do it right. You did not cater it to the skill of the people playing the
Yeah.
game. and what would be interesting to watch them do.
Yeah, they didn't spring for the games testing intern this season. They were
Sure,
like, I'm
yeah.
sure it's fine.
People
Yeah,
keep
it
being
clearly
like,
wasn't designed
there's
for people
clearly
to compete
bad
in time.
service in this chest. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. On the traders, when they have a challenge like this, there's usually either the difficulty of hearing the walkie-talkie is a major part of the challenge,
Right.
or they're just yelling it to each other. They're not using a walkie-talkie.
Or they have like a landline.
right. A
like,
landline would have been great.
Or other shows where they're like testing their relationships. I don't know if you ever watched Are You the One on
Yes.
MTV, but they had a challenge where you had to literally assemble IKEA furniture and like one person had to give directions and the
That's
other person
awesome.
had to do and it's like, that's a better test of communication and is like funny and relatable.
You know what? We're
Yeah.
shitting on this challenge. I did find a lot of it to be quite
Yeah.
funny.
It was very
was
silly, but I was like,
very
there's
funny.
other, as like a board game nerd, I was
Yeah,
like,
you're
there
like, the
are
design
other,
is lacking here.
I was like, there's other games, there's other, escape room mechanics we could have lifted out. Like there's other things we could have done.
Yeah, the fact that most of them did not actually get out of the chest is a sign that like something was lacking here, but a lot of good TV. So Alex and Brian go first, head to head, searching for Andrew and Parisa, and it's a shit show. It's also like the puzzles rely on
is
a
a
lot of forms
disaster.
of knowledge that are apparently archaic, and Gen Z people don't know them.
Nobody
no
knew
one
what the word spigot
Oh my
is.
God, Allie.
Yeah,
I was losing
so-
my- I was like, no one's seen the word spigot. Why is everyone saying spygot?
It's
or
very
even
upsetting.
heard it. Like I
It's
understand
very
if you've
upsetting.
never read it, but I feel like people have heard it. And
No,
you
it's
could be
from
like,
No.
the 1800s.
They haven't heard it. We actually have a clip of some of this.
First, find a tablet, the platter that's fit for a short king. 3 silver coins, 2 bangles that have ridges on them.
2 angles that don't.
Bangles, B-A-N-G-L-E-S, bangles, B as in boy.
I don't know what that is.
2 bracelets.
What's a bangle? Oh boy.
Hello?
We're clearly not good at this.
I'm not hearing anything you're saying.
Okay, babe, can you help me with 270? I don't get it.
Use the button
Grab it with your right hand coconut.
and follow it back to the Spygot.
What?
Spygo?
To who?
Spigot.
To the what?
She has no idea what that means.
I was not born in the 1800s. I did not know what a spigot was.
The 1800s.
the 1800s. That was the last time we had spigots,
Yeah.
and we evolved them into
Finally,
faucets.
at least Andrew does finally say it's a faucet.
I
Right.
love that also Andrew starts having no idea how to pronounce it. And then it's like, oh, I know exactly what this is. It's a spigot. And Alex is like, absolutely not. Those don't
No.
exist anymore.
Yeah, Alex is like, what?
She also
I'm in my
didn't know
20s.
270 degrees.
Well, and also
Which
she was
is
holding
rough.
a compass. I was like, Alex, the compass has
It
the
says
degrees
it.
on it. It says
Right.
it. Look at the compass.
Or like someone just be like 9 o'clock. Go to turn to
Right.
9 o'clock.
No, that's too difficult.
Well, that also
No.
someone saying turn to 4 o'clock did not work for. I think it was Leah. She was like, they're like turn to 4 o'clock, and she was like facing the start, or should I start at this? Should I go back to the start?
I mean, people don't even use analog clocks anymore. I mean, we're in a rough place culturally for a lot of this knowledge.
Again, as a board game person, you start with some very simple tasks so that they feel successful right away. Like that's what you want.
Right.
You want start something really easy. Then you get more complicated. That's
No,
what you
this
gotta
is
do.
game design 101. Yeah, they're all completely demoralized by the first challenge. Neither of these two couples finish in time. Brian, I think, finds more keys. So but the first 2 heats, we're only looking
Disaster.
at how many keys have been found to evaluate who's winning. Dale and Keith are next. They are looking for Kat and Kathy. And the difficulty of hearing each other over the walkie-talkie really emerges as the main impediment in this heat.
Yeah.
Although also Dale doesn't know what starboard is. and he's not reading as much nautical historical fiction as I did as an adolescent.
I was like, I'll forgive the starboard. I
Starboard
don't
port
know.
is
I don't know
starboard.
starboard.
You always know
I'm
starboard
sorry.
is right because it has more letters, and port and left have the same number of letters.
Oh, okay. Now I'm
See?
gonna know this. I'm not a boat person,
I read a lot of
but I
novels
do know what
about
a
like
spigot is.
about girls who disguise themselves as boys to be like shipmates. And,
Oh, I see this for you.
Yeah, exactly. And they do still pull ahead quickly because Keith and Kathy struggle with the walkie-talkies the most. They cannot get anything over to each other, and both couples end up running out of time. Dale is the one who gets more keys. And Kathy's very frustrated. She's like, why send a man to do a woman's task? A woman's task is obviously doing little puzzles so that
Exactly,
you can open a
yes.
chest. And Kat is really pleased. She's like, we handled a difficult task well. No one freaked out. She doesn't realize that Dale was losing his shit because she was in the chest.
and she couldn't hear a single thing he
Couldn't
was
hear him.
saying.
But I did start to feel like the walkie-talkies were really the problem. Like Kathy was like, you have
Yeah.
to hold down the button. And Keith was like, I am
I
holding
am.
down the button as hard as I can. You got to get them pressable buttons. Leia and Alicia go next. They are looking for Jonathan and Shawn. And Leia has to take a dog petting break at one point because she and John are just in a what did you just say loop that seems to go on for half the challenge.
I thought that Leia was innovative though. She was like, at a certain point, just dig up everything. Just go
Yeah.
through all
Exactly.
the options. I can't hear shit.
Which
Yeah.
again
Start
is how
looking
you
for the
know
key.
it's a poorly
No.
designed puzzle.
But
Yes.
the problem here, I'm sorry to Leia, was not that she couldn't hear. The clue that he gave her was dig under a flag with something you might kneel down to give a true love. And she's like, well, I don't see a picture of a diamond ring. So obviously it's none of these. And I'm like, Leia, there is a flag with a diamond on it. Like you have to do that little extra step of like,
No.
I'm
Right.
solving a puzzle. It's a clue.
No, she's like, there's a dog. Cute.
Yeah. No, honestly, pet the dog. The dog is part of
The dogs became a character by like the last heat. I was like, they're just here.
They're here for moral support if your partner can't give you directions over walkie-talkie and you keep saying, please repeat directions over. And they say, I can't hear you. Please say that again. Over. At a certain point, just say the direction again, you know? Alicia is the first one to actually open a chest. She's like, I saved my damsel in distress. Bailey and Spencer and Jeremy and Jess are the last heat. So Bailey and Spencer are the hunters. Jess also pronounces Spigot as Spy God.
Guys,
and
we
Spencer
gotta-
does know Spigot. He's like, that's wild. Spy God. Wow.
God, Spencer is really just shining in this season of Paradise.
They are really cute together.
They
I
are
really
adorable.
am
Yeah.
enjoying them together.
And this episode was like a great Spencer and Jess episode. We haven't had enough of them. So he also takes a dog petting break, and we know he loves pets. It's actually his life's work is to turn pets, pictures of pets into mouse pads.
Oh,
I
that's right.
always
That's
forget
right.
that about him.
Yeah. They do finish first, and Bailey also finishes a little bit behind them.
She
And-
loses the key and like
Yeah.
and
Rough.
and Jeremy was like, "You're almost there. I can hear you." She's like, "No, I got to go back. I'm so sorry." And has to run and is so stressed out.
That would have
Yeah.
been
It is,
me.
like,
I'm like,
really-
I
And then I
would
think
be
the
the
clue
person
is-
to get the key and then drop it or like lose it in a bag or a pocket or something. Like, I really felt for Bailey.
Didn't this happen on like Battle Camp or some show where like Georgia loses a key or something and like fucks their team? I don't know. I've
I
watched
don't
too
know.
many of these
Oh,
shows
yes.
now. My
Yeah,
brain
it
is
was
just like
Battle
a
Camp. No, you're
stew.
right. You're right.
Anyway, it's a classic. You have to remember.
Oh,
to have
it
all the
was,
keys.
Lexi from Queer Love Ultimatum who
Yes, she
a
she
flag
lost
or
the
something.
key and then they all turn
Yeah.
on her the flag. Yeah, no, I mean, I think also the problem is that they get to the last key and it's like choose a key basically that has purple on it. It's like that would have a military medal, a color. And there's so many purple keys that she gets confused and is like, it can't just be purple. They're all purple. But I think you're really just supposed to take one of them. Anyway, they do all finish and afterwards they get drinks and hear who actually won. And Jesse announces that Spencer and Jess had the fastest time.
Yay. They get
That
a
was-
date.
That was nice.
It
I was
was
like, this
nice.
was nice. They did work together well. I supported that.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will see how strategy brain really descends on the villa.
And we are back. And so it's time for the true game to begin. Arguably the better designed game. Who will be voted out and who will dig their own grave?
This is fascinating to watch unfold because Bachelor people tend to do pretty well on shows like The Traitors, not because they are like deeply strategic thinkers, but because they are really good at the social game. And
Right.
what happens here is that Shawn neglects the social game. That is the
Fully.
most important thing.
Well, it's like this game, there's really no strategy to it. Like there's sort of not enough to be strategic.
Right.
So anytime and it's also like a classic mistake of like, I was like sketching it out, trying to be like, well, how many people are left? And it's like, Shawn didn't have the votes to do anything. Like even if
You got to
Like,
hang
I-
back at that point. You got to
I'm
hang
telling you,
back
I
and,
was
and
like-
evade notice.
I was like
We're
sketching it
counting.
out. I was like, okay, he convinces himself that he's got to get Spencer out, which is like not a terrible impulse because he's like, okay, they're a really good couple. They might make it to the end. They're good in challenges. Great impulse. But then he tries to make his alliance of Andrew, Dale, and Jeremy and him. That's not enough people at this point in the game. Even if the
Yeah.
couple's vote is a block, like it's just not enough people. And then he talks to everyone.
Literally everyone.
So now everyone knows his strategy and knows that he's scheming. Like this, I was like, you can't even, he's not
Yeah.
even, because I was even like, could he pull off like a 3-2-1 vote, like on Survivor, where you like tell different groups of people different things to
Oh.
split the vote and give yourself the majority?
I think that would be giving him a lot of
Exactly.
credit to try
That's
it.
why I was like, I have to look at the numbers because I don't even think you can do like he would have
Yeah.
to get Jonathan, Keith, and Brian to vote for somebody else so that his 4 votes would be the majority, which is possible. It's a 3-2-1 vote. It's happened a few times in Bachelor, or not in Survivor history. Parvati and Sari have masterfully pulled off a 3-2-1
I mean,
vote.
Parvati
Right.
is a lot smarter than Shawn.
Right. It's like you can
is the
do
thing.
it, but this game doesn't have enough. There's not enough depth of the strategy for there to be a strategy.
No. And
No.
like there's going to be many scenes of Shawn's strategizing. We're not even quite there yet, to be honest. I jumped ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
But the reality is how most people are approaching this is by trying to present themselves to the others as like sort of trustworthy people who are playing this game with integrity, and they're going to try to vote. Like, who are the people who aren't even having a good time? You know, just like last week when they were all like, oh no, what if Kim gets sick because he stayed? Like, we have no choice but to, like, you know, like this some
Right.
sort of like fig leaf that's actually kind of a little bit offensive and ageist to send him home. But it's to make it seem like they're all voting out of the best of intentions. That's
Right.
the social game, right? It's
feel
like, I'm
like-
someone you can count on. I'm a good
Yeah.
person. I deserve to be here.
I feel like the consensus that they've reached is that to have integrity is to, at least at this point in the game, elevate the couples who are the most in love. They're like, this is a
Yeah,
Bachelor
right.
show. The framing is love. So let's be strategic within that framework.
And
I
they're
think that
trying to
that's-
narrow it down to those couples in their conversations. Like
Right.
Kathy, Jess, and Alex are like, which couples seem unhappy? I thought it was interesting that Jess points out that Brian and Parisa are miserable. I think we hear this from the girls, that they think this couple is not doing great. And the boys are all like, oh yeah, it sounds like it's doing really well.
They don't know
Yeah.
anything.
They have no
Boys
idea.
know nothing.
Brian is like, oh yeah, we're good. Anyway, like, let's get back to boy stuff. They're like, Jonathan and Leia aren't a couple. So maybe those are couples
Kathy
that
and
could
Keith,
go home.
not a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
Kathy's part of this conversation.
And
So she doesn't
Leia's
say
like
that.
really upset at this point. Like I think she realizes like, oh, nobody's coming. And this might be the tide that we're not a couple is going to send us home.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt really bad that there was a moment they were at the pool and everyone was
Yeah.
like going off and kissing for a little bit. And she
Literally
was like,
everyone making
I
out I thought was a
know.
little intense. I've never been at an event like this where everyone was just making out next to each other.
That's paradise, baby.
Yeah, I don't think I spent enough time at like band camp or wherever this is normal, but they're all making out in the pool
Yeah.
while Leia and Jonathan are sitting in the shallows and wistful music is playing. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And finally, she says through tears that she just didn't think it would go like this. She's like, "I'm happy for everyone, but I can't wait to be happy for myself."
oh.
She starts like laughing through her tears and she's like, "I'm looking for my husband. Where is he?"
So Charlotte York coded.
Yes.
And he's like, "Your husband might not be here, but something is here. 500." And she's like,
$500,000.
She's like, "Yeah, $500 million." And he's like, "No."
He's like,
That's
no,
crazy.
I mean, that would be cool, but
That's like the entire operating budget for ABC
Yeah,
content for the year. He's like, "We can get that money." And in the moment, she says she really wants to be in love. And she's just like coming to terms that she's not finding her person here. And Jonathan is also like, "I came here looking for somebody, but I fell short." And
he's like,
we have
so there's money.
yeah, he's like, "We have a target on our back, but we're here to win."
Yeah, I like that attitude.
You simply never know. Like, you can say it's very
Sure.
unrealistic for them to win, but hey, stranger things have happened. So now it's day 16. Spencer and Jess get to go on their date, and Dale appears to be leaving with them. And Shawn is like, "Are you going to be the shaman?" And he's like, "I'll be rubbing lotion and oil all over them." And with that, it's time for Shawn to turn from making lighthearted banter with his friends to showing what an incredible, astute politician he is. Because he's with Alicia. They're talking strategy by the pool. And they're like, Spencer and Jess are a threat, not just because of their strength, but also like they are close to Leia and Jonathan. Like Leia and Jess are really close. So they might try to save Leia and Jonathan. We need to be playing chess.
And
And
how does Shawn know how to play chess? You might be wondering. His daddy.
Yeah. We actually have a clip of him explaining where he got his political acumen.
Having a dad that's a politician, I've kind of learned to be able to think and operate in a certain way that really kind of gives me a leg up because I think about things like kind of diabolically.
He knows. He knows because his daddy just passed along those genetic political
acumen
prowess.
to be a regional New York politician.
I know. Like your dad, I'm sorry, let me double check this. I'm going to say he left the New York State Assembly due to sexual harassment scandals,
Yes.
and now he is the Rensselaer County executive. Wow.
My dad left in disgrace, and that is why I can see
Also-
all the traps.
Let me just be clear. Since becoming that county executive, he was indicted on 2 felony counts, including grand larceny. He was
What?
acquitted, but 2 years later, his top aides were indicted by the FBI on fraud charges. He also now, checks notes, spends most of his time tweeting about how Governor Kathy Hochul is enamored with killing the unborn.
Wow.
So
Why would you
Yeah.
draw attention to your father's political career on national TV when this is that
Right,
political?
If
career?
my
tried
dad
to,
can
like-
avoid that like guilty plea, imagine what I can do
Yeah.
here.
he's like, my daddy was acquitted.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was after he definitely sexually harassed at least
Yeah.
one female aide, but don't worry about it. He has a lot of thoughts on Tish James and Kathy Hochul and also
Yeah.
how doing gun control is Hitler.
So the main
Yeah.
strategy is tell everyone all the time your bad ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, these are the political smarts that will allow you to, basically leave in disgrace only to have a smaller platform afterwards.
To have your girlfriend be like, we are not,
no.
you are not messing up my brand deals. Get your
Get
shit
it together.
To have your girlfriend be like, "I'm not staying here to hear that you cost us our spot. I'm simply going to choose to leave before they say that to my face."
Yes.
So he suggests a secret rendezvous with Bailey and Jeremy and Kat and Dale so they can build a coalition. And I think this is like part of his calculation is that if he gets the guys on board, the women will just do whatever they say. So it's really like the men all have 2 votes and the women have 0 votes.
Which is what America is all about.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's
no,
what
they
his
are.
dad is kind of actively trying to
Yes.
make happen.
Yeah, they've been watching that Pete Hesgeth pastor video.
Hesgeth,
being
yeah.
like, Hesgeth. Pete Hesgeth. Oh my goodness, my brain.
He doesn't deserve to have his name pronounced
Yeah,
correctly.
I'm going to start calling him Pete Hesgeth just for fun.
But again, it's like he knows that he should be doing something, and he's
Yeah.
seen on other shows you like call a secret alliance, but he has actually no idea how to manage his alliance.
He's
Yeah.
confused. He forgets that like the alliances are meant to be secret. Instead, he's like, you do an alliance, you tell everyone about it, you tell more people about it, you tell them that you're trying to send them home. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it
And
works.
there are so many miscalculations here. And like, I think that he does the secret alliance, but then he's like, but I can't have people thinking I'm sneaky. So I'll also tell everyone about the
Yeah.
sneaky alliance, the secret alliance. And I'm like, well, then what's the point of the secret alliance
That's
if
a real
everyone knows about it?
an integrity move to
Yeah,
tell
that's-
everyone about your secret
Right.
alliance.
It's a man with integrity and the diabolical acumen that he inherited
Also,
from his daddy.
He seems to think that like the way that you take control of the game is just by deciding that you're in charge of a secret alliance. He's not really like evaluating other people's bonds to each other.
No.
Holistically. He's like, oh, Leia's close to Jess, but he's not thinking about the fact that Andrew is super close to Spencer.
No,
So
Right.
he's going to people and being like, I want to send your best friend home.
And he
Cool.
doesn't like
Andrew's
a key
just trying to
part-
take a nap, and this
He's
guy
fully asleep.
like bursts in and is like, so we're gonna definitely send your roommate home. Cool.
The
Meet me
amount
in
of-
5.
the amount of conversations that have happened on this season while one person is just straight up asleep in the bed.
No. You know what? It does make me so happy to know that these people are actually allowed to sleep, because
Right.
I
Yeah.
think on the original Paradise,
No,
that was not
they're-
allowed.
They're in air conditioning. They're taking a midday nap. I'm like, good for them.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
Andrew turned 30. His testosterone
Yeah.
has lowered. He's a sleepy man now.
Yeah, he needs that rest, and Shawn is just trying to interrupt it for his own ends. That's the thing. You go around having all these chats, really laying things out for people clearly, and then you say, oh, well, that makes me straight up, right? But you could have done what everyone else is doing, which is kind of take other people's lead. Maybe you drop a nugget here and there. I'm kind of leaning this way because of that, but I just love her so much. You know,
Yeah, it's
if
called
you
soft
try to drive,
power.
right? So
Yeah.
you have to sort of subtly sort of plant seeds to drive conversation without making it seem like you are really
And
trying
he-
to make the decision.
He doesn't use any, and like you're right, like he doesn't use any of the trappings of the Bachelor, because the second if he could just be like, I don't think they're here for the right reasons. I think they're talking about this, and
Right.
this,
Right.
or whatever. It's like you definitely could influence people to your side because that is the language of this show.
Right. You need
Like-
to have an awareness of the setting that you're in. And he's just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you decide that this game is something other than what everyone else thinks, you are not going to win the game by convincing them that you're right about the terms of the game. Like, they want to play the game the way that they think the game is being played. So
Right.
you have to work with that. So meanwhile, Andrew and Alex, Brian and Parisa, and Bailey and Jeremy are all hanging out and bonding over how wonderful it is to actually meet someone they're so into in paradise, because that's what it's really about. And Bailey is like, if you care about the money, you've already lost the plot. Like, I think we should just keep couples with the same mindset of genuinely building relationships.
And Shawn
Which is classic
ready.
Bachelor in Paradise. It's just classic Bachelor in Paradise mindset, which is like, of course she thinks that. She found a relationship. So that also puts her in a better position to win the money.
Oh no, I
But
do
it
love the like
sounds-
moral authority of all of the people who are in very solid couples. They're like, it's you know
We
what?
deserve
We're
it.
just-
About the
it's
money.
just like about your connection and how in love you are, because I'm in love.
Yeah. But I also think it's true that they are aware that that is what the audience cares. Like, the audience
Yes,
doesn't want to see
yeah.
a couple win who is just doing naked
No,
strategy.
that's
This is
like-
a show about love.
Yeah, that's just a bad narrative for the audience. And so Shawn is ready to be like, this game, It's not about any of those things.
Yeah.
I'm going to backstab everyone.
No, it's so funny actually because Alicia comes and sits down just as Bailey. And Alicia and Shawn have just had this conversation where Alicia's like, I love that we're doing strategy. You're so smart, Shawn. I love this. She comes and sits down, and Bailey is saying, I don't want to keep people around who I think will stab me in the back later. Cut over to Shawn, who is clearly asking Dale at this very moment for a secret backstabbing rendezvous. And then he starts going all around suggesting to different people that Brian and Parisa are definitely out this week. Obviously, they have to go. He even sits down with Leia, Kathy, and Keith and is basically like, you both are on the chopping block. It's one of you. Like, you need to make a case for yourselves as the least threatening.
Like, too far in advance also.
Yes.
Because he's operating from the belief that Brian and Parisa are going to be eliminated, which, like, we see, you know, how it turns out, but he's like, I'm not even thinking about them. I'm not even thinking about Leia and Jonathan. I'm going to go and try and get Spencer and Jess eliminated next week. Like, he's
Right.
playing the game. He's like trying to do too much, too far in advance, and like making too many assumptions. And like the smart thing would have been to just go around and be like, what's everyone thinking? What's everyone's criteria?
Right.
Right. Knowledge is power. Information
Assess.
is power. You don't know what everyone is thinking. You are telling them what to think, and you are not learning what's actually happening.
No.
So Brian quickly catches wind of this because Shawn is like basically holding
He's
court with
yelling.
these
He's also
groups of
yelling about it.
Also very funny at one point, Shawn is like, Kathy, you need to keep your voice down if it's going to be a secret. Everyone
like,
already knows what you're doing, buddy.
You keep your voice down.
Yeah, Brian is literally overhearing you saying his name. That's why
Right.
he's mad.
And Brian is furious. He's like, I'm going to punch Shawn in the face. I'm just going to slap him. I was like, okay, Brian, easy. Like, and he goes over to the bar and is like, he's just over there talking shit to everybody. Like, everyone very quickly is like, oh, look, there's Shawn trying to convince people that certain people should be sent home. We all know what's happening. Brian pulls Shawn aside to talk about this, and this leaves Kathy and Keith, Jonathan and Leia, Parisa, and Andrew and Alex to talk shit about Shawn. I'm like, now you've created distrust and anger at you very quickly
It's
that
so
did not
bad.
exist.
I love it
15
so
minutes
much.
ago.
It's
He didn't
such a cell
have
phone.
anyone solidly on his side. Like, he could not get one couple to flip. Like, how are you
Right.
trying to do this and you can't get one couple to
Because
flip
like
to your side?
they're not, the rest of them are not idiots. Like, why would they want to be like, I'm going to use all my social capital to back Shawn?
Right. And they were like seemingly pretty well liked. And like everyone takes a while. They're like, I like Shawn, but I really hate what he's doing. I'm confused because I do like them, but why? And then they start having to consider that maybe he is not a good person for them to keep around. And so he's gone from being someone who could, I think, have floated under the radar for several weeks to the prime target. Jonathan is like, he's just plotting against everybody. He's trying to eliminate people who aren't even here. He's like, how can we eliminate Jesse? And the women are like, yes, it's so negative, such negative energy. Like, he's so open about it. Alex is presumably in like the safe alliance that Shawn wants to build. And she's really turned off because she's like, this isn't how the game should be played. So he's like already turning off people in his coalition before he's even like met with them. I'm just like, I'm baffled by this. So Brian asked Shawn to explain his strategy, and Shawn is like, great, absolutely happy to do it. So we have 3 couples vulnerable, right? And you and Parisa are more threatening. So I'd rather like get rid of you guys first because you're strong. And Brian is like, is the aggressive lobbying really necessary? Like, I saw you telling 2 other couples to vote for me. And Shawn is like, I didn't even bring you up, actually. Flashback. To him bringing Brian
The
up.
use of flashback footage on
The best
Honestly,
was,
so
I
good.
think it was, they said like 3 minutes earlier and then 4 minutes earlier, as people kept being like, you're going around doing this. Why are you doing this?
everyone is just like baffled.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm baffled by how he's handling this. He doesn't, again, it's that miscalculation of like, I'm going to be sneaky, but also straight up about it. Like, he's
Right.
telling Brian to his face that he's doing something backstabby. And then he's like,
again,
nothing personal, right? It's like, no, of course he's going to take that personally.
On these kinds of, if you're on a show where there's a lot of strategy, you can be like, listen, I'm going to play the strategy. That straight up, that's what I'm doing. But then you don't tell everyone your strategy. Like, he's doing
Correct.
every tactic that he's ever
Yeah.
seen Because you totally could be like, listen, I'm going to vote the strongest out. Like that happens on a lot of shows where you're like, I'm just going to vote the strongest out, but you don't tell everyone who you think the strongest is.
Right.
Or you only tell people that you know you can trust. Like you build a trust of like, I'm going to protect you, you protect me. All right, who does our alliance think we should vote out? Like he skips all the steps that involve other people.
Or maybe you could go to Brian and be like, I'm hearing your name a lot, like in the guise of like, yes, it's out there, but not owning that it's you.
I think what this just
it.
really comes down to is Shawn is not that smart.
No, he's
they're my like summary of like the whole Brian, Jeremy, Bailey. We don't have to rehash it, but I was like, half of these people have no moral compass and they're really pretending like they do. And the other half, I think, are just too dumb to know that they don't have a moral compass. Like with that whole scan. And so, like going into this, it's like you have half of the people that I don't think can, no offense to anybody, I don't think they can like run the numbers the way that like you would have to manage all of that if you were on Survivor or Big Brother or something like that. And then the other half, they're like, well, the moral thing to do is to not strategize. And it's like, but that's dumb too. Like that's not.
But they're going on vibes.
They're going on. Well, but this is the thing that the Bachelor cast does have is that they do have a good social game. We see that a lot of them have really convinced each other that they will back each other to the end because they've made each other feel so safe and trusted.
Right.
Obviously, that can't continue forever, but that is the strength that they have. And that is the one thing that Shawn is being like, I'm the guy who doesn't have that. You cannot trust me.
You can't trust me
can't
for
be safe
1
with me
second.
For 1 single second. So you've outed yourself as like being separate and apart from the rest of the group as the one that can't be trusted. So the voting block couples or the representatives, Kat, Dale, and Jeremy are in the pool. And as he passes, they're like, what's going on? And he's like, I wasn't campaigning at all. Flashback. Here he is campaigning. Yep. He's like, no, I was just explaining scenarios. Like he's playing semantics. Oh, I didn't say they should vote for you. I just, maybe I said that everyone was going to vote for you. Like, we all know what you were doing. Then Shawn says that Kat and Dale are going to be next. And she should worry about that. And Kat looks really skeptical and is
too
like,
far ahead. He's plotting too far ahead.
And he says, all the girls. Who else do you think it would be? And I'm like, Shawn, those are literally all of her friends. Like, Kat is not buying this for a single second.
Not a
She's
second.
like, again, social game. I'm close with them. I trust them. They trust me. In her in the moment, she's like, me and all the girls are very tight. We're like this. Every single girl. I don't believe that at all. No
like,
credence
obviously
to what I'm saying.
not. That's a very stupid thing to say.
And this is also the second time in like 48 hours that a guy has said all of the girls are saying this in a very non-credible setting and gotten
also like
caught.
There's also not enough people to do this. Again, like looking at the numbers, you can't be like all of the girls are saying this because there's a small enough group.
She turns around, she's like, that girl? Did that girl
she's
say
like, you
it?
could go talk to everyone and be like, okay, who said it? Like, there's
these men
of
don't
us here.
believe that the women have real relationships. As we see later, he thinks that his friendship with Kat is more important than her friendships with any of the women there.
Yeah. This
which
also,
is
I did not, because I think I missed that paradise where Kat was a villain. I was like, what is happening? This is weird.
She was, I will say,
was
she
kind of a
was
villain.
a real wild villain. It was rough. She's been to therapy since.
Good for
But
her. Good
Kat
for her.
is also, she is a person who is great for reality TV. Sometimes she does stuff that rubs me the wrong way. She can be like a little selfish, a little prickly, a little inconsiderate, but like she is who she is, you know,
sure.
and she is close to her friends. She cares about her friends. Her friends are not just Shawn. Shawn is not like the only person that she is building her life around, and he seems to think that is the case. So he's trying to convince them that they need to like all start thinking more about strategy. Like Leia and Jess are close. Like who knows what could happen? And they're like, stop, please. Like it's not useful to
Yeah.
strategize this far ahead, one step at a time. Jeremy's also like, everyone else from the other like group is like watching us over there. So I'm just gonna like simply float away on the tide to the other side of the pool.
I really enjoyed Jeremy during this episode because he's like been in it. He's been in the center of the drama for the last few weeks. And now he's like, please exclude me from this narrative. I will literally float away.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to be seen as trying to plot stuff. Like, and I'm not, and I don't want to be seen that way. So this all breaks up, and back with the weak relationship block, Keith is explaining to Kathy what Shawn's strategy is. And he's also like, I think that maintaining the integrity of the game means having the strongest couples left. And Kathy is like, no. The strongest couples get to have love. And I want the money. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
should get
love
to have the money because I
Kathy.
didn't find love.
Hard support. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that Keith is like, so I think maybe I should vote for us. And Kathy's like, how dare you?
He's like, I would feel really good about my choices. He knows that she'll be very mad, but he's like, maybe that's just the right thing to do. And Kathy is like, please. Money
There's
is good.
money. We're
There's
still
money.
here.
Right.
She's like, if you don't care about the money, there's the door. And I'm like, well, you do need him to stay, actually, to get the money. But they leave it at that. Alicia tries to talk some sense into Shawn after getting the vibe of the room.
I will say Alicia is able to read the room in a way that Shawn is not. She enters 1 to 2 conversations and realizes that this strategy is not working.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I felt for Alicia because she was like, oh, you want to do strategy? Like, you're into politics? That's great. And then he does such a terrible job immediately that it's like too late for her to fix
And
it.
I think she's like, oh, hang on. Everyone hates politicians. Everyone hates strategy on this show.
Dial
This is not
it
a good
back.
idea.
I also think that perhaps she didn't assume that his strategy would be to make a secret alliance and then tell every single person that he's going
And
after
piss
them.
off her friends' boyfriends.
Yeah.
Right. She clearly thought that he was going to have some like very low key, quiet conversations, feel people out, try to kind of sway them. And instead he went out and was like, hey, everyone. I'm the mob boss of this island. She's like, listen, you're coming across as the politician of paradise. No one likes politicians. And I'm like, yeah, look at his dad. I don't think anyone is into that. She's like, this is going to bite us in the ass.
Correct.
So he's basically like, okay, fair enough. Like, I'm confused. No one else wants to play politics with all this money at stake. And also, like, politics is so fun. He's like a kid playing in a sandbox. He's like, aren't we having a great time doing politics? She's like, no, everyone thinks you look like an idiot. Meanwhile, Jess and Spencer head off for their first date. She can't wait to tell him how she really feels after couples tantric yoga, which I did not appreciate being introduced by Jess saying, what weird shit am I doing this time? It's yoga. It's
a classic standard one-on-one date at this point.
Yeah. I'm like, also, many of us have gone to yoga class, in our day-to-day.
Certainly.
Like, it's yoga.
I did love Spencer being like the spokesman for tantric yoga. He was like, actually, tantric yoga is a time-honored tradition. Ayurvedic medicine is an entire system. It is a more holistic view of medicine that is not seen in the West. Like, I was like, okay.
I feel like Spencer's really trying to like single-handedly dial back the cultural appropriation on this show.
I think he's showing like a
you.
real Bachelor skill set here, like, which is getting like a brief on the local cultural activity you're doing and then being the narrator of it to the audience.
And that is a real skill. And
It
as
is.
we
We'll
know,
stick around as narrator of the group date.
A lot of people don't possess the skill on this show.
So they have a wonderful connected bout of couples tantric yoga, and afterwards they relax by an infinity pool and discuss their future. He asks if she'd consider moving. It seems like he's saying he is not really considering moving. Classic. And she says they'll cross that bridge when they get to it, but she's open to anything and just wants to be with him. And he says he's absolutely 100% falling in love with her. And she says, I was going to say that. I wanted to say that first. We love an assertive woman. I love them. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, We'll learn all about the Parliament of Paradise and the rest of this episode of Bachelor in Paradise.
And we are back. And Shawn has really decided to take Alicia's advice to heart and not listen to her even for a moment.
This is him trying to do what Alicia said. He's like, yes, she gave me another perspective, one step at a time. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm like, how have you altered your behavior at all?
No,
you are
he's
doing
like,
the same
I'm really
stuff.
listening to Alicia. Time to go around to every bedroom and recruit half of the group into a secret meeting.
He came up with the name for the meeting and didn't know what the meeting was going to be.
And
This is the Treasure Hunk
Treasure
problem
Hunk,
all over
Yes.
again. Yeah.
The Treasure
Name
Hunk
first
conundrum.
planning. So it's all four of the strong couples outside of Jess and Spencer. And of course, that just means the men in the couples because they're the decision makers for the household. And he tells Jeremy the first rule of Parliament of Paradise is don't talk about Parliament of Paradise. And Jeremy says, I can do that. Can you do that? Which doesn't seem to faze Shawn. He's like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, do you understand that Jeremy is saying to you that you have been talking way too much shit? Later, Jeremy also says he doesn't think he can trust Shawn because of the politicking. So, like, these are your number one allies.
And they're like, no.
You do
I mean,
not
Andrew-
have the votes.
Andrew quite literally doesn't show up. He's like, I need sleep and I like Spencer better than you.
He's trying to recruit him while he's taking a nap. And Andrew's like, yeah, no, okay.
I love all the three other guys the two other guys in the alliance walking up being like, oh, what's this? What is this?
What is
this? The
Dale is
taco
like-
station is open. Hurry this up. Like
in the moment, Dale is like, the Parliament of Paradise is without a doubt the worst political campaign. He shouldn't run for office anytime soon.
I agree, Dale.
Correct. I don't know.
Yes,
He
yes.
might rise as far as
State
Rensselaer
Assemblyman.
County.
Dale is a resident of New York State, so perhaps he shares our concern.
He knows what's going on. So he invites them all to the secret meeting. They all just seem like miserable and exhausted, but surprisingly, some of them do show up. Shawn waits by the front entrance. Jeremy and Dale get there, and he's like, Andrew's coming too. Cut to Andrew snoring in his
fully
room.
asleep.
Andrew's like, I like Shawn, but like Spencer is my roommate, so like I don't think Shawn can read. Like literally, Shawn doesn't know what he's asked. He doesn't know the relationships at play. So Shawn says he doesn't think any of them can compete with Spencer and Jess in challenges or relationship strength. I think this is a really bad move also out of the gate to take two of the men who are in like the strongest couples there and be like, obviously you're not as good as Spencer
I know.
and Jess.
I'm
Let's
like,
start there.
I do kind of agree with him, but you can't be like saying that to people.
I feel like there's also framing here. Like you could be like, listen, I think we're in really strong couples and everyone can see that. What we need is to take out another strong couple. And maybe
Yes.
Spencer and Jess is a couple that we can look to take out
Claire.
so that the strong couples here have a better chance.
I think you should be running the Parliament of Paradise.
I can't do that. I'm a lady.
Right. That is
You don't
not
have
in
a vote. What
parliament.
am I saying?
It's not in parliamentary procedure.
No, it's not allowed. I could send my husband. He could run parliament. And Dale's like scoffing. He's like, duration means nothing. Like, we're very strong too. And Shawn is like, listen, it's nothing against Spencer. It's just the best strategy to separate them for us. Jeremy says he doesn't think that he could like bring himself to vote for Spencer. So this is a really bad sign for Shawn's plan. Shawn is like, well, what if Spencer and Jess decide to go after Kat? And Dale's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see that
this
happening.
is not gonna
Yeah, Dale's like,
happen.
I'm unconcerned. So
Like, I guess that could happen at some point, but by that point in the process, it's just as likely that Shawn and Alicia will have turned on you. Like, you're going to get down to a core of couples at some
right.
point.
It would have been
right?
so much smarter to do this organization around like Leia and Jonathan.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you could absolutely make the case to be like, they're not really a couple. They're
Right,
Just,
we
they're
love
just in it for the
them.
money.
They're here for the
we
money.
love
We know they're
them.
not here for love. The rest of us have formed real
heard-
relationships.
We've heard Jonathan. We've all heard Jonathan talking, and he won't tell her that he's not into her that way. Like the script is written.
Right.
Right.
You
And
definitely
then,
could have. And they're everyone likes them individually as people, so people aren't going to want to vote them out anyway, too.
right. So you just you have to build that trust in your coalition with these easy challenges, and then when you get down to the really tough decisions, maybe you'll have some loyalty built up and some political sway. But he's burning that all way too early. Jeremy is like, you can't prep for a hurricane when it might be an earthquake. And Shawn
Yeah.
says, well, I'd rather prep for a hurricane than do it while you're in the hurricane. Compelling points made on all sides. I simply don't know what to do. I'm like, you're literally creating the hurricane. Like, you are the one creating this problem right
this metaphor
now.
falls apart immediately.
He has one of those weather machines I've heard about that the Democrats use.
I thought that was the Jews. No, I'm sorry. That's the lasers.
Same diff, right? Meanwhile, Leia is ready to use Shawn's bad politics against him.
Smart. Real smart.
Actual strategy happening here. She tells Jess what Shawn has been up to while she was away on the date, and that he's playing Survivor, not Paradise. And the women hate hearing this. They're like, we literally did not come on Survivor. We came on Paradise.
He's not even playing Survivor. He's playing Survivor.
You're
really
this
badly.
is an insult to Survivor.
Yes. Again.
Yeah. He is one of those guys from a reality show, a Bravo reality himbo who goes on the Traitors. That's what he's playing.
Yes.
Leia also wants to convince people to vote against Parisa and Brian so that they can evade this double elimination. And so the women are all doing a lot of their own, much more soft power relationship based discussions to try to figure out where people are leaning. Alicia tells Alex and Bailey that she wants Jonathan and Leia to go because he's been there since the beginning with no relationship.
See, Alicia's doing the smarter thing here.
She does so much more to advance their cause.
I know.
Than Shawn.
And Shawn completely screws them.
Kat tells Leia that she doesn't want her and Jonathan to go because she doesn't really trust Shawn and Alicia with the alliance stuff that Shawn is trying to do. Andrew warns Spencer what happened while he was gone. He's like, Shawn wants to cut you and Jess. And Spencer says, he said that to you? Oh, he's fucking stupid then.
Correct take,
Yes.
Spencer.
Incredible.
You get it.
See, Spencer knows this. Seeing Spencer's strategy brain turn on was actually one of the best parts of this episode. He's
Incredible.
activated in this moment.
Yeah.
In the moment, he's like, Shawn is right about how strong Jess and I are. And also the moment Jess's name left your mouth, you're done.
That was cute. Good
We're all
use
so
of
good.
strategy. Good justification of your strategy. It's not for me, it's for Jess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm protecting my lady and myself.
Obviously.
And he tells Andrew, I'm cutting his ass. And Andrew laughs. So it seems like that parliament is going real well, holding firm. Jeremy and Dale are also strategizing in their room. Jeremy thinks Shawn does have their back because he's like, I mean, who else would have his back given what's been going on? He would have to have our back, I guess. Alicia walks in on Alex and Bailey, and this is sad. She hears
is
them
kinda
whispering
sad.
about what Shawn has been up to and whether maybe they need to vote for her and Shawn. And she's like, at this point, I did lose a little bit of sympathy for Alicia because she's like, that's so much sneakier than Shawn openly talking to people.
my
I thought
God.
these were my friends. How
Girl.
could they do this?
I felt bad for her in the sense that it sucks to feel like your
Yeah.
friends are talking about you. But don't use that to stand up for Shawn, please.
That's where I draw the fucking
That's
line.
where I draw the
Right.
fucking line. Your boyfriend is a moron, and I think that you're smart enough to know that.
And again, she could have said something to them of like, hey, this isn't me. I'm going to talk to him next week or whatever. She just
Yeah.
immediately went to like, I can't believe anyone would do this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're on now that you have to do this. Like,
You all
They
have
have
to
to
Right.
talk
realize
Shawn
about
literally
that that's
started it. None of them wanted, they are your best friends. They did not want to go for you, but Shawn is putting you in a position where you are attached to a person who is threatening to them, who feels threatening to them.
I
That's
had
not what you
forgotten
wanted.
that these women from Grant season are all super, super close. And then I remembered
Yeah.
that I had seen that like Alex and Parisa and Alicia were all in Utah with Latia, like after filming. Like they are like very close friends.
yeah.
Outside
Yeah.
of
Or
the show.
were.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's all destroyed now. I mean, they were traveling together after filming, but
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. So she goes and vents to Parisa, her third bestie, who also seems really shocked. And I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, you could. And later she does try to do this when she's gathered herself, like, try to be like, yeah, look, I know that Shawn seems like a loose cannon, but like, I will protect you, like, with
Yeah.
whatever, like, I would never turn against you. Overall, it just seems like the alliances are shifting a lot because people are talking to each other and weighing their friendships against their best interest, against like where it seems like the votes are going. And it seems the
And
safest
also
to
where
vote
their
for whoever
partner is
everyone else is voting
going.
for.
Like they're in this very interesting position where the friendships between the men and the friendships between the women like do not align in couples.
No. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
again, like there's not enough of a block that you could really
Right.
move the sway, because you could essentially, like, if a couple doesn't vote together, it's like you could make it so the vote goes away that you totally can't predict. So
Exactly.
you do kind of have to get on board within your couple and then see where the bigger story is kind of going.
So it's time for the cocktail party. All this was happening while they were all getting glammed up for the cocktail party. That's where the real work happens. As the cocktail party begins, Wells, who had such a good episode last week,
He's
really
riding
annoys
too
me.
high. He's riding too high on his one good insight.
by going on an extended riff to explain that he is just working too damn hard with no help behind the bar and isn't getting paid enough, so they need to send some couples home. I'm like, I know you're trying to be funny, but you're definitely better paid than like any other bartender in the world. So
You're making your SAG minimum, sir, which I guarantee you is more than you would make at a shift at Chili's. So let's just relax.
Correct.
Shawn pulls Spencer aside to chat at the beginning. In the moment, he says that he missed a fine detail when he was concocting this. And I'm like, no, you missed a very, very
biggest
big
possible detail.
Big and obvious detail.
He's like, oh, right, Andrew and Spencer are close. He was literally like sitting on Spencer's bed to tell Andrew to vote for Spencer. He's like, oh, no. Okay, so Andrew might tell him. So I'm going to have to tell Spencer so it doesn't seem sneaky. I'll tell him that I made up a Parliament of Paradise and that I want to vote him out. And then it'll be cool. Because, like, how can you be mad at someone who's being so honest with you? And he tells Spencer all about his little plan and the dumb little name he gave it. And he's like, I did just mention that I found you to be the strongest couple. And Spencer is sort of like nodding and like being like, yeah, thanks for telling me. Like, cool, absolutely. And Shawn thinks that he's like handled this really well. And in the moment, Spencer is like, I think Shawn thinks he's smarter than he is. I will pretend that I trust you because that's what you do in a strategy game. You make people feel comfortable and then you slit the throat.
Thank you for explaining, Spencer. You get
Someone
it.
needed to tell Shawn about this before he went on this show. He doesn't understand that the point of the strategy game integrally involves making people feel comfortable.
Okay, but you know what? I do think that this is a dynamic we are basically only going to get in this first season when these people did not know that they were heading into a strategy game. So I am sort of savoring the like bumblingness of all of it because next year they won't be this stupid.
Next year they're coming in with alliances.
Well,
like
exactly.
they're gonna come in.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be who did you like hook up with at Stagecoach. It's gonna be who did you make your alliance. Like that's
exactly
what it's gonna be.
So I am enjoying the idiocy of all of this. It's delightful.
I actually think that they're going to need to radically change the formula every season if they want to do some sort of competition like this because it's going to be so annoying to have them all come in really prepared for what's
the
gonna
one
go
that
down.
that is still they're trying to do Survivor right now, that there's just like a tribal council vote every week. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, because of how much time they kind of have between when they announce something and when they could just do like Bachelor or Big Brother style, where it's like whoever's the strongest couple and is like head of house, and you put up two people to be eliminated.
Right. They can change it, which we've even seen in this, right?
Yeah.
Like we had the Bailey structure for that
Yeah.
first
they've been
vote.
doing different
They can
ones.
change it around, and I think that they're going to have to change it around in a way that's unpredictable.
So if they need a game consultant, I
Hire
am
Ali.
available. That does not conflict with my other jobs.
I mean,
Yes,
please hire
please.
Ali.
Yes.
You need her.
Meanwhile, Parisa is telling Hannah Brown that she doesn't think any amount of money is worth getting in between two people. So if it comes to that, though, especially if the other person is Brian, I'm like,
Sure.
maybe if
Yeah.
it's like a really amazing person, like a once in a lifetime person, but like Brian, I feel like you could find another of him. Like,
Yeah.
snap your fingers.
At
You
your
go to
corner
a club in the
bar.
meatpacking district, like on a Friday night, you're gonna find a Brian. She's like, if it comes to that, we'll hold hands and we'll walk out of there. And Hannah seems pretty skeptical.
She's like, are you?
I don't know. Okay, sure. Brian is really enjoying this. I don't think Brian wants to hold hands and walk out of here. He's like barely noticing Paris is there anymore. He's here for
He
the
gets to
gameplay.
do more mob deals. He's so excited.
He just loves like the aesthetic of backroom strategizing, like sidling up to a guy at the bar. He is
Being like,
he
"Listen."
he made a huge mistake last week. He's still doing a better job than Shawn.
I know.
Yes.
And he's like, it's not over. There are enough possible votes to put Kathy and Keith and Shawn and Alicia on the chopping block.
There are.
I'm not going to. He's counting them maybe a little bit more closely than Shawn is. And the Italian mom movie music is back for him to try to smooth things over with Jeremy. Maybe sway a vote. He tells Jeremy that he knows after what happened, he's lost trust with him. And Jeremy's like, yes, to be transparent, I am worried that will come back. Like, if we do keep you and things change next week, you might want to send us home because our relationship is not as strong. And Brian says, honestly, I feel like I owe it to you to keep you. So if I were given that opportunity, I would, because I want America to see that, like, we're friends. And I
Good
want it to,
strategy.
like,
Yeah.
I thought it was
love
interesting
this
that he mentioned
line.
that, because I was like, that's a little bit of like, oh, it's not just my morals. It's also like, that's brand building for me. Like, my
Yeah.
interest
Right.
is in convincing people that I'm not a bad friend.
It's actually
which I thought
smart.
was, yeah.
Also, I love that little moment of breaking the fourth wall. Like, we've got to
I know.
show America what a bromance really looks like.
Very Love Island. In the moment, Jeremy says that 95% of him is still upset. He's not acting like it. Again, better at playing the game than Shawn. And he thinks that Brian is just trying to save his own ass. But it takes a man to talk about what he's done wrong. So he appreciates that.
I'm still team Brian. Brian did the right thing.
He did.
Oh, with Bailey? Yeah,
Yeah.
he did the right
Yeah.
thing. I agree.
So
Not
I'm
like
I support Brian in all
95%
his
of Brian.
endeavors.
95% of Brian irritates me, but with Bailey, he was the only person who did the right thing.
Right.
Parisa asks Alicia to join a girls' chat, and she's like, I'm not ready for the girls right now. I need to talk to Shawn first. She's really upset with Alex and Bailey. She feels she was so wrong about people she thought would be friends for life, but she is also at least upset with Shawn. She tells Shawn, you know, I thought we had a conversation about laying off the strategy talk. It seems like that went in one ear and out the
She's like,
other.
then you just did more of it. In fact, you did a whole branding thing.
Yeah, you gave your strategy
Yeah.
a name and you told everyone about it, including the main target.
And he's there like, yeah, it went one ear and right the other. Through my brain, my
Yeah.
strongest asset. Like, he's not like phased.
He's like, yeah,
He's like, yeah, huh.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, he's like, I did do that.
She's like, people are questioning your intentions and whether you even care about me. And he's like, what? Why would they question that? She also says that she mentioned to Kat that he and Kat are close. Like, oh, well, you and Shawn are such good friends. And she says that Kat looked her in the eyes and like gave her a weird look as if to say, no, we're not. And she imitates Kat doing this look, and she looks exactly like Kat.
Yeah, and
doing
you're like,
this
oh
look.
yeah, obviously Kat did make that face.
Of course she did. And Shawn feels very betrayed. And I'm like,
Oh.
Shawn, do you remember when you told Kat that all of the girls that she's so close with are ready to throw her under the bus? Like, why do you think Kat is not feeling so close to you right now?
He's like, I lie to all of my best friends.
Oh, God. Kat gives Dale a note at the bar that says, will you be my boyfriend? Yes or no?
We don't have time for this. We don't have
He
time for
checks
this.
yes. Guys, they're dating now. They're in love. Alicia decides now that she's ready for the girl chat. now that Dale and Kat are together. And she sits down with Bailey, Alex, and Parisa. She's like, I wear my heart on my sleeve in her in the moment. And she confronts them directly and says she feels hurt that they were whispering about her and Shawn without bringing it directly to her. She says she would never, ever, ever vote for any of them. And I'm like, Alicia, eventually you probably
Like
would
next
if you
week.
stayed.
Until next week, she would not
You'd
vote
have
for
to
any
pick
of them.
some people to vote against. And Bailey's like, no, we weren't trying to plot against you. We were worried about what Shawn was up to. We were trying to gauge, like, should we like maybe say something to you or what should we do about it? But they're all like not interested in fighting ultimately. So they try to squash it and they all end up kind of agreeing that they should vote based on who has real romantic relationships, which would mean Kathy and Keith and Leia and Jonathan. Alex is like, that's what playing the game with integrity means. All the people in couples have been sitting around talking about their integrity of voting for themselves.
Of the couple.
And Alicia's like, great. After dealing with that, I just want to have a little wine, get a little tipsy, focus on Shawn, like chill out.
Shawn, however, has a different vibe in mind. Conflict and chaos. And more digging his own grave.
The women are doing better strategy.
Yes. I was like,
and
this is
also
effective.
This is heterosexuality in a nutshell. It's like the woman is like, I'm doing your job. I'm also making time for our relationship to thrive. And what are you doing? You're fucking gaming. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Alicia is like, okay, I put this to bed. I've had a second conversation with Shawn in which I have like disciplined him softly. Maybe now he gets it. Certainly not. Not even a little bit.
She's like, it's like, I've called all of our friends. I made plans.
Yeah.
Remember that we have plans.
I've put it in your calendar. And he's like, what are we doing tonight?
He's like, this will not stand. It's like, okay.
And once again, we have a moment where Shawn has lost a member of his coalition. And instead of handling this in a way that is maybe designed to bring her gently back into the fold, he kind of confronts her like he thinks she's a really bad person.
Which
this is nuts.
If you know Kat at all, which allegedly he does, you would know that this is not the way to get Kat in your corner.
Politicians, like the one thing you're supposed to know is like how to get people on your side. And it's like, you do the opposite. You're the opposite of a politician. He pulls Kat to confront her about the fact that she's been plotting against him. And he's like, you gave a look to Alicia that indicated that we weren't close friends. And I feel betrayed. Just an alternate script you might try. Like, I heard from Alicia that maybe you're not feeling so great about our friendship, and I really care about you.
Yeah,
and
that made me really sad.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's going on. Could you explain?
What can I do to
yeah, just
make
to
you
be
feel
clear, like any strategy I was doing, it was never directed at you.
Yeah. And Kat says, I think that there's a lot of things that are going on that are making people question character and integrity and trust. And he says, you mean with me specifically? And she's like, well, yeah, with you as well. And then he's like, well, do you think that we're better friends than other people in paradise? He's literally like, pick your best friend. Which one of us is it?
It's like,
Shawn, this isn't 7th grade.
Like,
what are
she
you
has
doing?
more than one friend.
God, I had to learn this lesson too in middle school. You should not ask your friends which of your friends they like better. They don't enjoy that.
Again, this is an experience that men have never gone through. That's the canon
problem.
and foundational for women, where you think you're like, well, I'm going to ask between me and Julia and Christina, who's your best friend? And you're like, uh-oh, you about to lose.
No, it is such a lesson looking at the way that like Alicia handles a friendship breach where she's like, let's all sit down and talk about it. I'm just really hurt. And they're all like, oh, yes. Let's mend. Let's get on the same page. Shawn is like, you're my best friend. Right. You're plotting against me.
And it's also like, again, it's like there's that quote about if you're a lawyer, it's like never ask a question you don't know the answer to. It's like he doesn't know. He thinks he knows what she's going to say. He thought he knew. And she just is like, I have other friends. Like, if you don't know where your allies are, don't ask them in front of the camera.
And he's so upset. She hesitates. And he's like, even your hesitation, if someone asked me that question, I would say, absolutely. I would never write down her name. I'd never write down Dale's name because he's attached to her. That's the kind of friend I am. Shawn, Kat has a lot of friends. You should try having a lot of friends. Instead, you're going around being like, everyone else here, disposable to me. How is that going to help you in this game?
Well, it's not, as we've already established.
Shawn is like, I've been backing you this whole time. I've been standing up for you. So again, we get the like, everyone else maybe hates you. I'm the only one who is saying nice things about you. Another thing that's just going to get her back up. We do see some flashback footage where he's like telling the guys how kind and sweet she is, but it doesn't even seem like they're attacking her. They're just like, she's been like a little like, where do Dale and Kat stand right now? Like, she's been a little intense. And he's like, no, she's so great. And they're like, yeah, she does seem great. It's not like everyone's like coming for her.
I was gonna say, I had a guy friend who would do this to me. He would be like, well, everyone really thinks that you're doing too much and you're excess, like you're saying that. He would be like, oh, everyone thinks you're like saying all these things and you're really extreme. And it never once made me be like, wow, I have to change my behavior. I just was like, stop that.
Yeah.
I was like, if
It
you want
just
to talk about
feels
this,
manipulative.
I'm not going to talk to you about this. Like, I don't know any situation where a friend, a guy friend especially, could come to me as a woman and be like, a lot of people are talking about you. I'd be like, why are you talking to them then? Like, fuck those
Right.
people. You should tell them I'm not like that and not tell me this. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
this information.
I don't want to like overread the gender element here, but there's an element of like, I'm your man friend and I'm your most important friend and I'm the one who kind of owns you and like I like monitor how everyone behaves. It just like feels a little possessive.
It
I'm like,
also is sort of like, I can see that you are making mistakes that you don't know that you're making.
It's condescending.
And it's really
Yeah.
it's really like, listen, if you want XYZ to happen or you want, it's the same, to sort of put the gender on it, but sometimes in comedy I would have like a male friend who was also doing comedy but was not doing something at my level, or we weren't doing the same things, and they would try and give me like career advice or be
Oh,
like, what you
no.
really need, and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
I'm doing more and different
good.
stuff than you.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like way before I had any kind of real job. But it's like, there's just sort of this sense that like, again, I think it's Shawn being like, I'm the only one that can see the strategy here in a way that's like, maybe Kat can see the strategy or has a different strategy or knows that like what you're doing isn't actually what she wants to do. But
Nailed it.
It's the assumption that he's right and she's wrong.
Right, that
Yeah.
he has knowledge she doesn't have. And she's sort of like, well, your knowledge doesn't really seem relevant to me. I'm reading the room and it's very clear that it's not good for anyone here to align themselves with you because you've
Right.
pissed everyone off.
Right.
right. She's like, thank you so much for being in my corner, but like, we are building this from trust and understanding, relying on people's composure and character, and today just didn't show that. Like, basically, you are freaking people out. And so we don't necessarily feel comfortable aligning with you.
Yeah, dude, you're scaring the hose. Like, you got to leave the party. Like, you are scaring the hose. Get out.
And he's like, I've been doing strategic planning to protect you. And Kat is like, I don't need that. And I never asked for that. And it just came off shady. And this really sets Shawn off. He's like, I don't do secrecy bullshit. I'll tell people exactly how I feel to their fucking face. The switch up you're doing is crazy. Maybe you should have done more secrecy, but we've talked about that. Kat is like, I've let you disrespect me and curse at me. I've tried to be kind and understanding, but I'm not going to sit here and let you do that. So I'm going to go. And she gets up and walks away.
Correct assessment of just like, again, like when I've been in that situation with those guy friends, it's just like,
You're like,
I
okay,
don't want
this
you
is
to
no,
have this
thank
conversation
you.
with me.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to talk about, then I don't want to talk about it. Goodbye. Like,
Also, it's so telling that after this interaction, Shawn is just like, let me light my friendship that's so precious to me with Kat on fucking fire.
100%. It's like, oh, let's be really close friends with the man. He'll just like condescend to us and feel like entitled to be our number one best friend
then
and
if we
make decisions for us.
disagree-
And then if we disagree or I step out of line in any way, he will become my number one up. Oh, amazing. Friendship with men sounds great.
and
I
then
want
again,
one of those.
it's like what Kat does, like Jess and Spencer. It's like, hey, you're now scaring my girlfriend. Like you're freaking everybody out. You are scaring my girlfriend, scaring the hoes, dude. You gotta go. Like if you're at a party and somebody starts making the girls feel creepy, that guy's gotta go. Like we're no
go.
longer having a good time. Like
So yeah,
we all
Shawn
felt a little uncomfortable, and now we're really uncomfortable.
So Shawn goes on quite the rant about Kat after this. We have a clip.
Every situation I've ever been in where Kat's character has been questioned, I've been the first one to come to her defense. Last Paradise, when all the internet is coming after her because they think she's crazy.
Why are we still talking about something that happened days ago? Go hang out with the crabs. I know what I bring as a woman in this relationship. I am not living with the bugs for no reason.
I was the only one saying that, no, like, you have to get to know Kat. Like, she's not that bad. Like, she has a big heart. I was coming to her defense.
What the frick is going on?
When I see her true colors, she's everything that everybody thinks she is. Everything you have seen from Bachelor in Paradise, from Zach's season, from what you're seeing right now is who she is as a person. She doesn't give a about anybody else but herself, and that shows.
Wow. This is so wild. Like, the internet did hate Kat 2 years ago. Correct. But I don't think you were like the only one who ever said something nice about her.
I remember a funny thing. All of her female friends being like, Kat is misunderstood.
Right.
We had such a great time in Paradise. She is a caring friend.
Think of the messiest, gossipiest bitch you know. It's a man, isn't it? It's a man.
Always a man. Also, the fact that he is then like addressing the audience head on and basically like, no, all the worst things you ever thought about Kat, they're true. They're all true. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, it's pretty obvious what he's trying to do. Like, what you were trying to do is to get the audience to turn on Kat and like go mass harass her or whatever.
And like save your own ass, like making a bigger villain in the eyes of the show.
Meanwhile, you could have
work.
taken this conversation, tried to mend the bridge, and maybe learned that Kat was really upset that you tried to tell her that all of her other close friends were planning to vote for her next, which she does not believe. Maybe you could have learned about some errors in your strategy. Maybe you could have gotten some useful info. And instead, you are now going on an absolutely unhinged rant about how everyone should hate Kat, a woman, just as much as they
have the
might
votes.
want to.
He doesn't have the votes. He
doesn't have the votes. He doesn't have the skills. He doesn't have the charm. He doesn't have the smarts.
He's not smart enough to know he doesn't have the votes. Like,
he's got none of it.
This is a Survivor season 1 flame out. Like, that you would not make it to week 7 or 8 with this kind of strategy. No way.
What is that? That old Al Franken sketch, is that Stuart Smalley? He's the opposite of that. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. And people do not like you. So meanwhile, Kat runs back to Dale and tells him that Shawn was disrespectful and yelled at her and was swearing at her every other word.
I will say perhaps she talked this up a little bit.
Well, it was edited. We don't know everything he said.
Sure.
We saw a couple swear words.
Swearing a lot more and directly at her.
I think she is shaken up that one of her best friends came at her this hard.
I think she has every right to be. I just want to be like fair and
I don't want to be fair to Shawn.
Okay.
It does seem like there is a little bit of like, for some of the guys, there is a very strong of like, our relationships are kind of off limits. Like, you're not gonna go, if you're upset at me, don't go to my girlfriend. If you're upset with my girlfriend, like, don't come to me. Like, there is sort of that sort of boundary that exists. Because I think there's just so fewer people and there's no new people coming in that it just sort of seems like we have to keep the temperature low.
Well, and I think also they're all right now trying to show that they have strong couples, because that is one of the main things most of them have agreed is a good reason to stay.
Oh, that's a good point.
And so where you might see conflicts play out a bit more one-to-one in past seasons of Paradise, this is just an opportunity for Dale to be like,
he's like,
I
am
am
a man.
Kat's bodyguard. Like, I'm here for her.
Right.
You come at Kat, you come at me, because we are one, baby.
That's my girl.
Like, that's my girl. So he goes to Shawn and is like, you're out. Like, you push the boundaries too far. Jeremy is listening at the bar, mouth stuffed with food. He is too shocked to chew.
I was like, wow, Jeremy, you are just so memeable.
Is
this
when he
episode.
had like a platter of tacos, like that wavy aluminum taco
the thing with
thing.
like the 4 tacos in the
and
little
he's just
dips.
Like,
And his eyes just open wide.
yeah.
And Kat is thrilled. Her man protected her. He stood up for her. It's so hot. She's like,
I'm sorry. There is a little bit of just like, yeah, it is. It is really
she's like,
nice.
there's nothing
Yeah.
that I love more than my man getting mad on my behalf.
there's like a little like, yeah, who doesn't want their partner to like really go to bat for them? It feels good. And that's getting her through this tough time. So Dale asks if she's okay. And she's like, I am. I did my deep breathing. Thank you so much to the 2 years of
Cracked me
therapy.
up so much. Kat
I'm like,
is
you did
incredible
your deep
television.
breathing. You did your deep breathing, and your man went and yelled at Shawn
a
on your
beautiful
behalf.
woman in a beautiful gown being like, I did my deep breathing.
Yes, it's good. I did my part.
Yep.
Spencer wisely advises Shawn to just chill for the rest of the night because he's like he's getting kind of more overt about it now. He's like, I think you overplayed your hand. Like, you need to do less. And
Just calm down.
Shawn is
just
like,
stop
well,
talking.
Shawn says, well, yes, maybe there is strategy that I might be intrigued in.
And Spencer's like, we know.
Yeah, he's trying to play it like if this was an intellectual exercise, like he was just running the hypotheticals. It's like, no, you're directly talking to people.
And someone who is directly telling you, like, we can see the wreckage of what you're doing. Have you considered
Please stop.
stopping for your
Dial
own
it the fuck
good?
back.
This reminds me of when people say that Trump is playing four-dimensional chess.
No.
And it's just like
No.
chess in every direction
He's just
is
a
not better.
bumbling
It's just like I'm doing
moron.
different moves every possible way
It's
and
like
direction.
he's playing four-dimensional chess and that he's picking up the chess pieces and throwing them at the other person.
Right, in every
And it's like,
direction.
it's like, yeah, I guess that does encompass 4 dimensions if the fourth
Right.
dimension is like smell or something. But
Playing is maybe a little bit of a strong term for what you're doing. And Spencer is like, you need to just focus on your girl instead of talking about everyone. Focus on your relationship. This is the strategy that actually works the best. Build your friendships. Make it seem like you're in a strong relationship. You have done nothing but the opposite. And he actually tells him here, you made a huge mistake because the second that Jess's name leaves your mouth, the second you try to threaten this, you're fucking done once you say it. And I have to feel like that must have sent a chill down Shawn's spine.
because Spencer is gentle. If
Yeah.
Spencer is coming at you this hard, you're dead. You are
fucked
just
up.
you are so
Yeah.
dead. Spencer does not deploy his power often, but when he chooses to, you know it's going to be effective.
This actually feels like the moment when you're like clinging to the top of the skyscraper and the person that you thought was your friend stands over you and is like, I know what you did. And then they like reach up their foot to like stomp on your fingers.
hand. Yeah.
You're like, oh no, it's happening and I can't stop it. Now Dale and Spencer really feel that Shawn has disrespected their girls. He's in big fucking trouble. Jeremy is just watching Shawn crashing out from the sidelines, and he ends up chatting with Bailey. And she's like, I did just have a great conversation with Alicia, but I'm just going to maybe go by your votes. Bailey, come on, feminism. We have our own votes.
Bailey, you
this is a relationship I do not like. I do not like these two together. I do not like Jeremy. Also, did we forget Jeremy is the one that was out in the club with Devin? Like, this is not this is not a good guy. I'm sorry. I want better for Bailey, who seems like a delight.
also like Bailey, maybe he should be going with your votes.
Bailey, yes, he should be going with your votes. He owes you that at least. She's like, I have to vote for friends though, no matter what. That's the thing, is that I think Alicia, especially coming in later, is really attached to her original friends, especially the couples that have been there since the beginning are kind of like, we're all really close. Like Kat is like, I barely knew any of these people coming in. Now we are all close.
Friends.
I put these women I just met up next to Shawn. We have bonded that much. And meanwhile, Shawn is trying to save himself by being like, I'm just so straightforward and honest. Like, I've just been telling people exactly what I'm thinking. Who can hate me for that? And he talks to Keith and Kathy, and they're like, no, buddy, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, you fucked up.
You've gone astray
And Keith
somewhere.
is just like, yes. So I see what you're doing, and I don't disagree with it. But I just think that there's a trust factor that comes in with people. He's really like the soft dad trying to be like, son, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, but you've erred.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard of the social game? Like, it seems like you've left
Like,
that
listen
out.
to your elders, Shawn. Kathy's like laying a little trap. She's like, Shawn, do you see yourself and Alicia as maybe the strongest couple? And Shawn is like, yes, we definitely are. And she just says, well, I don't.
Well, I don't.
I mean, but she's right. Like, he's not aware that people don't perceive them that way, or that they don't,
Right.
that he has moved them backwards from that with what he's been up to. Alicia joins and Kathy's like, how are you doing? And she says she's beyond emotional and she weeps. And Keith is like, in the moment, I feel so bad for Alicia, but the good news is for me and Kathy, if they're voted out, we might be here another week.
Correct, Keith.
Just-
and I
Where's that
respect
integrity now,
Yep.
Keith?
Just like all of this is just a sign that the wrong man will mess up your situation like no
Yeah,
other.
That is the
Yeah.
thing.
Like-
I look at Parisa, I look at Alicia, and I'm like,
You could
attaching
really have-
yourself to a bad straight man,
Mhm.
done.
Yeah, big mistake. Brian and Parisa and Jonathan and Leia also know they're potentially on the chopping block, but Parisa is hopeful that her girls will come through with a Leia and Kathy vote. She is also hoping Alicia and Shawn will stay because she and Alicia are super close. And Brian is like, I'm hoping that things bode well for us.
And I love this because his Chiron then reads, confuses bold versus bode.
Yes.
This is what we need from Bachelor in Paradise. I
Yes.
like when production and the editors point out the things that the audience is going to notice.
And-
Like, it is great comedy.
I do love it. I think they could do it like 30% less. They're really looking for all those.
They've
Yeah,
turned it
I
up.
think they could deploy the Chirons more thoughtfully.
More thoughtfully. And this camera in the confessional room is like the most unflattering angle on so many people. It makes Dale look like an Easter Island, like stone head. And like everyone is just like, everyone's like too overexposed
It's
and
a
like
lot of
glossy.
blue light.
Right. And I was just like,
Yeah.
this is the worst. I would sue. This camera angle is so bad.
Well, they don't want them to look too glamorous. They're trying to make them usually look dumb
Yeah,
in
that's true.
in the moment footage. Be careful out there. And with that, it's voting time. And I was fascinated by how they did this. Jesse gives them all a tablet to cast their individual votes for two women.
It's like
And
a
it's like-
full dating app of death.
Or
But it's
it's like I
like-
think the most unglamorous thing is when you're at like a really nice restaurant and then they bring that big ass block and you tap your credit card. I was like, make it a show. Drop some roses in a box. They have to
I know.
like
They
swipe
used to
or
know
something,
how to
like-
do this. They used to, you put everyone in like a funeral parlor room, you make them stare at a bunch of headshots, and you put a rose into like a rose-shaped opening in
They
a
were
wooden
dropping
box.
tokens into a box solo but this is also like an anonymous voting nightmare because they are walking around passing the
With an
tablet
iPad.
and
person
like
to
looking
person.
over, like the couples are standing next to each other, like looking over each other's shoulders.
Well, this
Yeah.
is how so many Americans would like women to be able to vote with their
Yeah.
husbands staring over their shoulders, being like, no, you'll be voting for the Republican, honey.
Yeah.
Exactly. I kind of hated this. I think that they wanted to do this sort of like tracking shot of the tablet moving around.
Yeah, which is like kind of, they're
It was
trying things.
cute.
It's kind of
Like,
fun.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, oh, I like seeing everyone like, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Like
Same. It
that was
kinda
kind
fun.
of cute, but I just want them to like
The
put
actual
a frame
iPad.
on it. Put
Come
a,
on.
you know,
Yeah, try
something.
harder.
Just again, like production it up a little.
So we do see a couple votes, like Alicia votes for Kathy and Leia, Jonathan votes for Alicia and Parisa, Shawn votes for Leia and Kathy, Alex votes for Leia, Andrew votes for Alicia. Like it's honestly, it's not looking good for Alicia and Shawn.
It's really
from the votes
not.
that we see. Dale votes for like a lot of people from the voting block. we
Especially
see,
the men.
especially the men.
The men are really voting for Alicia.
Because Alicia, we know, is actually friends with these women, and Shawn is just friends with Kat, and he's like, let's get some of these dudes
Right.
associated with Kat and her friends on board. And this brings us to rose ceremony time. Two couples are going home, as we know, and Jess gets the first rose. She gives it to Spencer. Alex gets the next one, gives it to Andrew. Bailey gets the next and gives it to Jeremy. Kat gets the next one and gives it to Dale. So like we kind of have our top
The
four
established
right there.
couples.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next rose goes to Kathy.
Jaw
I
drop.
was thrilled. It was jaw drop, and also I was thrilled. I was like, yes, we deserve another week of Kathy.
Yes.
This is about us.
I know. I've been loving Kathy being there, being like, ladies, I just want to be here as a mother figure
Just
to
to
support
listen to you. Just to listen to you all.
Forget
And then in her
money. Just
ITM,
your
she's
stories
like-
give me life.
She's like, I need that money.
Yeah. I don't care. I just want the money. So before the final rose can be given out, Alicia and Shawn share a wink, and Alicia interrupts Jesse and says that she and Shawn came to paradise to find love. And I believe we have a clip of the rest of her speech.
Shawn and I came into paradise looking for love. We didn't know what else it was going to entail. And the one thing we're not willing to compromise is our character and integrity. And to have that questioned is very difficult to hear, but we would like to make the decision to leave together on our own accord. We are leaving here with something so much more valuable than money could ever buy, and we'll continue our relationship back in Tampa and get a big fat bucket of popcorn to watch this all back.
Same.
Very good.
Obsessed with how much work the music cues are doing in this.
Is there a more depressing sentence than we will continue our relationship in Tampa?
Back in Tampa.
Back in Tampa. Like,
Yeah.
If I ever say I'm excited to continue my relationship in Tampa, you know I've been compromised and I have to be.
We'll be like calling, so we'll be
Soldier,
like, guys,
shut
we have
down.
to do an intervention for Allie.
No.
Something's
Allie would
gone
go
really
to any
wrong.
lengths not to continue a relationship in Tampa. She has been taken.
and a big bucket of popcorn.
I just also, you could hear that Alicia is shaking with nerves because she and Shawn clearly agreed that she had to be the one to give this speech.
Right.
It's just, and
That
everyone's
they
like,
wrote together.
do we clap? Okay.
Well, also, everyone knows that what happened is that they have realized that they probably
Or
did
Alicia
not
get
get
counted
a
the
rose.
votes,
Yes.
and knew that it was bad.
So it's like at the last minute before they're going to not get a rose, she is going to be like, we didn't even want it. You know, it's just, it looks a little bit easy. It looks a little bit like you're trying to
avoid the embarrassment.
Yeah. At a
You
certain
can't fire
point,
me,
like
I quit.
just take it. Just take it. You know you're going home. Just take it and be like, you know what? Well played, guys. But we're so excited to keep dating out of here.
A big
Yeah.
bucket of popcorn.
I also
In
don't
Tampa.
I don't think anyone questioned Alicia's character and integrity.
No.
Right. I know. Just like Alicia, stop tying yourself to Shawn even more. It's a bad look on her way out, how
Yeah.
closely she ties herself to him. Also, just again, the music. Like it's like they're doing like a groundswell, like we're in like Braveheart or something, and then it's like meow.
Yeah,
You
so that
don't
they
have to
can cut to the
continue
wide eyes.
Your
Yeah.
relationship back in Tampa.
You don't have to.
You don't have to get a big fat bucket of popcorn to watch this back.
There was a moment my boyfriend was watching. Maybe it wasn't this episode, but one of the earlier ones, and someone has a hat that says Tampa, and he was like, "Are all these people from Tampa?"
I do think
like,
that a
not all of
disproportionate
them.
amount of Bachelor
Yeah.
Nation is from Tampa and San Diego. That's where they recruit. So everyone is like clapping, but they're all giving big yikes looks. They're all like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And Alicia, in the moment, says, the people I considered my friends, clearly they voted for us. There are snakes in the grass, and I think it's time to mow the lawn. Like, by self-eliminating,
You
I
can't
don't
do that if
understand.
you're going home.
Yeah.
right.
No.
Like, you got mowed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shawn tells everyone as they're standing there that he thinks they just voted off the strongest couple there. I do think it would have been funny if they didn't actually get voted off. Like Jesse was like, well, they were going to stay, but like
Yeah.
second lowest
Yeah.
number of votes. Everyone is like confused. Alex is like, I didn't vote for Alicia. Bailey's like, what's happening? Like, why did they do this? Like, why is she so mad? And as they leave, Shawn says, Dale, I love you, but Kat, don't call me crying when this one ends.
Okay. Sir.
Now it's giving something else, like to have this level of like vitriol at like
I
a female friend
know.
is like do you like her? And you don't like it's too much of just like a
It's way
friendship
too much.
anger.
The fact that Kat and Alicia are twins really
I know.
also furthers this impression for me. Like, clearly she's his type. They've been close for a long time, but they haven't dated.
Right.
And then the minute she doesn't prioritize him above all of her other female friends,
He's furious.
Furious. And he's like, I'm done
obviously
with
Dale's
you.
using you and you're
Yeah.
delusional.
Yeah, and I won't be there for you next time. Yeah, it
Yikes.
is definitely giving, like, now that you've rejected me, like, I won't be your friend.
Yeah. And I did love Jess being like, okay, so you have integrity, but then you're going to like talk shit on your way out.
Right.
Like,
It's just
this
so
is not
undermining of what they
making sense
just tried to
together.
do. Like, it was always so obvious what they were trying to do, but now you've made it even more obvious by trying to throw shade on your way out. And Spencer is like whispering, like, he really thought that was a cool mic drop.
And then in the moment, Kat is like, fake, 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 fake. Please, it was all staged. I can't. I mean, yes, I think everything is like pretty much staged on this show. Like, this was all planned.
Yeah.
They wrote that speech. They knew that this was a very strong possibility. During the rose ceremony, as they're watching them leave, she's like, Alicia's probably just embarrassed. Like, I feel bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good assessment of what's
I think
happening.
She is embarrassed, yeah. After they leave, we also see that Alicia calls Kat an absolute joke of a human being. She was the one who sent people home and painted untrue narratives, and she's disgusted by her and can't wait for karma to come full circle.
Why is this coming all
I
on
don't
Kat?
know. Like, what is happening?
This does not. Kat did not seem like she was masterminding anything.
No,
like,
I
I
was like,
understand if she was like equally strategizing, but Kat was just sort of like, I don't know.
This is like so bizarre. And then Shawn in his ITM says he would have died for Kat.
I'm
before
sorry.
this.
I'm sorry. This is so giving. I'm in love with my best female friend.
100%. This part especially. He's like, Kat is delusional. Dale's going to leave her the moment this shit ends. If you cross me, I hold a grudge. So watch out. And at this point, I realized, we still haven't seen the big like Kat, Alicia, Shawn confrontation that was teased in promos a few weeks ago. So
Right.
like
he called her an actress,
right
or something,
So
and then
I'm
Dale's like,
I'm gonna assume that the eliminated couples
come back.
maybe are
at some
coming
point.
back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe. I'm like, I want to rewatch that teaser because I'm like, that does seem like something that would have happened tonight.
But,
you know,
like, if
during this party.
If they cut
it
it,
get
that
cut?
would be really, really weird.
It would be weird to cut it after using it in a promo.
After using it in a promo, and also it's just really good TV.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
So,
know.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, this is all crazy. And I was really bummed that Alicia chose to go the route of like, my friends all betrayed me. They're bad people.
Same.
Like, they suck. And Shawn and I are the victim of untrue narratives. Like, Shawn freaked
did
all of your
this.
friends out.
Yes.
Shawn affirmatively made a lot of choices that freaked all of your friends out. They are friends with everyone. They ended up, some of them voted to protect you. The ones who didn't have their reasons, and they are not that they don't care about you.
Right, they're
they
about
have to do with
Shawn.
Shawn.
Right.
And so you're leaving this way? Why?
And like the game has changed. Like, you just can't look at everybody's choices in the same way, which is
Right.
again like what happens when a lot of people go on the traders or something like that. They like take it personally, and you just have to be like, we're playing a different game now. And
Well, that's the thing that
the
is
choices
crazy
that
is
we
that-
make are different.
that Shawn wants to play this as strategy, and she's like, great. But if you're playing a strategy, it's not personal.
Right.
But you want to play strategy, but take it personally when people don't like your strategy. You can't have it both ways. And ideally, you would actually play personally in order to build up those relationships. But that's not what you guys chose to do. So after the drama, we return to the rose ceremony where one of the men has farted. I think we have a clip.
Jeremy, what if I farted?
Way.
No way. Dale.
Seriously.
No, it wasn't.
No way.
Security.
Keith, why would you do that?
for the book.
It wasn't me.
Keith, did you just bust ass at my rose
No,
ceremony?
that was worse than what Shawn had
In
It was freaking Dale. It was Dale. All right, America. It was Dale.
Never a dull rose ceremony in paradise.
I loved this.
See, these are the
Jesse
things that I
going.
think they lost in later iterations of Paradise, it needs to have the funny moments.
Yes, we need the goofiness. Also, just Jesse's a great host.
He's a great host. He's such a good silly host. Like, he makes such a better silly host than like trying
Chris
to
Harrison
be really
could never.
empathetic. And like just him going, "Did you just bust ass?" I was like,
It's fabulous. It's Jesse
my
was made
rose
for
ceremony.
Paradise.
I know. How dare you?
How disrespectful.
So he still does have to finish the rose ceremony, and he does make a point to say that Shawn and Alicia were going home anyway.
I love that he
Humiliating.
said that. He was like, I'm going to be petty. They did nothing here.
So funny. Oh my God. So humiliating.
So the final rose goes to Leia, who gives it to Jonathan. And to celebrate, he decides to confuse her a little bit more by planting a big wet smooch on her. What are you doing, Jonathan? You just got to being in a good place with the friend zoning. But everyone seems excited. They're like, yay!
They're like, do it again.
He says in the moment, they're going to play this game the right way. No negativity and backstabbing here. However, Brian and Parisa are going home, which made me sad.
I know. They've really brought so much to this season.
They are just, it's also just like Brian is a genre of man that I will always be like, yeah, I'll take a third-rate Sopranos clone. Like, I always enjoy that on a reality show.
I don't want to be near Brian in real life, but he's quite entertaining television.
Yes.
He has brought a lot to this show, like both in being a villain and in being the hero we didn't know we needed.
Right.
So.
And Parisa, an insecure attachment queen.
Oh,
I love her.
Parisa. I love the way that she says, "What are bangles?" during this episode. I mean, the delivery.
Bangles?
Oh, she's so good. So they leave with their heads held high. Parisa's like, I think I found my person.
You didn't.
Brian says that he and Parisa are strong and happy and excited about the future. So that's really all that matters.
I don't believe.
He's finally going to have a conversation with her about their relationship again now that there isn't like strategy to talk with the boys. Yeah. Jesse reminds them that at its core, Paradise is about finding love. Good night.
He's like, remember, we're not on Survivor. This is Bachelor in Paradise.
I know I just said there was $500,000, but I need everyone to just still do the love thing.
Yeah.
So that
come on, guys.
Everything's okay. I told them I would make it right. So just come on.
It does. I love how these shows do kind of mimic the like social media incentives of like, if you convince everyone that you're really in love, you can make more money. And that's the right way to play the game. After the rose ceremony, Kathy says, I'm so happy, but I'm not a fool. I know our time is coming to go home. But she's just going to try to win that challenge next week so she can throw a wrench into who's staying and going. Until then, she'll just be eating Oreos and watching the show.
I was like, this sounds great. That's what I want to do. I love
just
Kathy.
having an amazing time. She's like, I'm having a great time, and then maybe crazier things have happened.
And
maybe
even if
I'll
she gets eliminated, maybe she can just stay and just hang out and do confessionals. That would be great.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope just give her a few extra days in that hotel.
Yeah.
She deserves that.
They have two bartenders. Why can't they have a house mom, like a sorority?
Right.
You know?
Yes. Oh my God. Now I'm just picturing Kathy in like that Anna Faris movie, like the house bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
So next week, they're going to be doing some sort of overnight camping challenge that seems to involve giant mosquitoes or something. Bailey will be very pissed if her manicure gets ruined. One man, and of course his female partner, will be eliminated by vote. And Spencer doesn't know who to trust. Also, we see that Spencer and Jess are going to hit their first romantic relationship roadblock when discussing moving in together. Jess just isn't there yet. Also, Dale thinks he and Kat are the strongest couple there.
Sure.
Keith is homesick and tells Kathy he needs to go home. There's a problem at the rose ceremony, and Bailey feels stabbed in the back.
Again?
How many times could you be stabbed in the back on this program?
So many
Give
times.
this woman's back a rest.
I know.
My God.
Ali, thank you so much for joining us. This has been, as always, such a blast. Can you
so glad to
tell
be
the
back.
people Can you tell them where to find you and all of your wonderful work?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WT Flanksteak. You can always watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO. And then I'm going to soft launch because I feel like this is the target audience.
Yes.
I'll have a book coming out sometime next year about reality TV. So
Yeah.
keep your eyes peeled.
We are your target audience. I'll be pre-ordering 1 million copies.
Thank you.
And I will also be checking the mail every day to see if I happen to get an early galley. Hint, hint.
Yeah,
really
no,
need this.
we're open.
Well, that's very exciting. We're so happy to read that book soon. And thank you so much for joining us. It's always so much fun.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.
And now it's time for Love to See It, Hate to See It. Let's start with Hate to See It. Get that bad stuff out of the way.
I hated to see Shawn repeatedly drawing attention to the fact that his father is a terrible right-wing grifter politician from upstate New York. I think
Hated it.
it would just have been better for everyone if he stopped reminding us that this person existed.
Instead, it's all I can think about. And I just reminded myself of all of his father's most terrible positions politically. I also, frankly, hated to see the absolute travesty that is the American, perhaps North American, because Alex is Canadian, education system. I just think adult humans should know what bode and spigot and bangle mean.
Mm-hmm. No, we're not the 19th century anymore, Emma. Times have changed. Alicia and Parisa, I hated to see them getting their games truly blown up by way of the men they've attached themselves to. They didn't stand a chance.
Truly, no, this is the danger of heterosexuality. And I also hated to see Alicia just like taking Shawn's side so hard at the end and like making a grand anti-cat stand. I don't know what's going on here.
And turning on her friends. You know, there was an assumption that her friends specifically were the ones who swung the vote, and they
didn't vote for you.
Her 3 friends did not specifically have to vote for her for this outcome to happen. So I was really sad to see that she made that assumption and that she really went hard at them not being like the people that she thought they were when the real problem was Shawn's terrible behavior. Let's do Love to See It. I love to see some low stakes, relatively comedic drama. Like
Delicious.
Paradise has really it's moved up from like a low simmer to like a really active bubble at this point.
I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. I'm enjoying it. We're going, baby. I also personally love to see Kathy and Keith surviving yet another week in paradise. They deserve it. We deserve it. I love it.
I love to see Kat telling Dale that she did her deep breathing because breathing is so important. Breath work
really is
so important.
Hashtag growth. Hashtag therapy. I wasn't sure if this was a love to see it or hate to see it, but I do think it was a love to see it for the comedy. While I didn't enjoy Shawn reminding us about his terrible father, I did enjoy getting to witness his absolutely abysmal political skills. It was hilarious.
Yeah. And I love to see Jeremy just literally floating away from the drama. Everyone should pivot away from the drama if they know what's good for them. Give someone else a chance to be in the hot seat.
And that brings us to our OG BIP vibes rating out of 10 iguanas. Claire, where do you think we're at? Because I'm feeling like we're sort of similar to last week, where it is becoming something all its own.
That is true, but I think that I was feeling more OG BIP this week because I can't even explain why. I just felt like the vibes felt more BIP to me.
And this
like,
is a
we're seeing more
vibes-based
like,
rating system. So.
It is vibes-based. I don't know. The way that there was this blend of like the comedy and also the interpersonal drama felt more familiar to me.
You know what?
That
That's
exact
true.
blend.
And also, we did get the original song in the credit sequence.
Yeah.
That really sets the tone. I think I'm going to go like 7.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna go maybe 5. I don't know. It's a hard thing to feel out because it is so different, but I think we're sort of more in the middle this week. I felt like some of that, like if you liked the original BIP, I felt like this week was delivering a similar thing in a different package.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a 6 or a 7. I don't know.
I don't even
feel
know
like
how to
it's-
do these ratings anymore
I know, it's
because
gotten
we
so far afield. But I do feel like if you like the original BIP, this is giving you a similar tone, a similar style. That
while still being
you'll
that like
enjoy.
new, unique, updated version that I think they are going for.
Yeah.
And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. Thanks to our wonderful guest, Ali Barthwell.
Love to See It as a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon and Emma Gray. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like our show, remember to follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, spread the word to all of your friends about Love to See It.
This is a situation where it's actually great to go from group to group, openly, in as loud of a voice as you want, being really straight up with them about the fact that this is the strongest Bachelor recap show out there.
So true.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and on Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. And you can find our newsletter Rich Text on Substack at claireandemma.substack.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at Emma Lady Rose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Shook.
We'll be back soon.
Can you keep